Texas. Thanks so much for joining us for this CBS 19 Plus live stream. We're live on CBS 19 Plus and on Facebook as well as YouTube. I'll be periodically checking our Facebook comments. If you have questions about the upcoming weather, go ahead and drop them there. We'll be checking the live chat. Otherwise, today is going to be a hot one. We are officially in the summer season here in East Texas. And wow, we are feeling it. A weather impact alert. We are officially switching into weather impact alert mode on T-minus 20 minutes. Once we hit 11, we'll officially switch into red. And that's because we are tracking a risk of heat illness. Things are going to get hot very quickly. Make sure you are staying hydrated. You need your SPF. The UV index is going to peak at an 11 this afternoon. So you'll definitely need that sun protection. Now, the hottest areas are going to be what's highlighted in orange on your screen. Heat advisories are going up at 11 a.m. and continuing through 6. Overall, it is going to be a very warm afternoon. Even if you're not in one of the alerted counties, even areas out to the west will still feel the heat. So like I said, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Hydration is key here. I'd also recommend wearing light colored clothing to reflect some of that heat away from your body. Make you just feel a little bit cooler outside. Because look at these temperatures. It is going to be warm across the board. We're climbing into the 90s around 1 p.m. today, and we'll continue to climb until we hit about 92. That's for Tyler and for Longview. About 91 if you're in Nacogdoches this afternoon. Warm outside, a chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. That's not going to keep us that much cooler, though. 93 if you're in Jefferson and 94 in Linden this afternoon. But of course, when you account for all the humidity in the air, it'll feel a whole lot warmer. It's feeling at the century mark in Tyler and in Longview, 102 for your feels like in Henderson. And then check out Jefferson. It's feeling at 103 this afternoon. So we are in store for a bit of a scorcher if you're outside. Try to limit any long-term outdoor activities during the peak heat of the day. I'd recommend moving that into the afternoon and evening, or I should say past the afternoon and into the evening. Temperatures drop overnight, so we do get some relief. We'll drop down to about 72 in Tyler and in Longview, 74 overnight in Nacogdoches and Lufkin. Temperatures are dropping down to 73 in Crockett and in Groveton overnight with a few passing clouds. Now, we'll dry out overnight, but we are expecting some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the afternoon. Those should pick up sometime after 1 p.m. Widely scattered showers, very similar to what we saw yesterday. A few heavy pockets of rain could come through. We could see an isolated strong wind gust, as well as the potential for lightning and thunder. However, not all of us are going to see rain. This lasts until about 9, 10, and then fizzles out in the overnight hours. Now, we're not expecting anything severe in terms of weather. Just some isolated downpours. This could impact your evening commute, though, so just make sure you are watching out for slick spots on the roadways. In terms of rain totals, we're not picking up all that much. Now, today we could pick up to 1/4 of an inch if you were caught in one of those downpours, but not all of us will see those, or some of us may even stay completely dry. So just be prepared and have your umbrella with you in case you need it. Now, a lot of us will probably see skies that look like this. Lots of clouds, a mix of stormy looking weather off to one side, some light blue skies off to the other. Hey, you might even see a rainbow. This is the picture that I took yesterday in Tyler. You can see the rainbow popping up behind the Texas flag there. An absolutely beautiful sky yesterday. If you happen to see a rainbow, storms, or just any cool weather, we would love to see it. We might share it here on CBS 19 on one of our live streams or on air. You can send it to our email, weather@cbs19.tv. If you send that to us, we'd really appreciate it if you tell us where you took that photo and your name. That way we can credit you and say where the photo was taken. We look forward to it. All right, rain chances today, about a 40% chance. That does begin to taper off as we get through the end of the work week, but we still are dealing with the chance for showers on Thursday. After that, though, we finally see the return of sunshine Friday and Saturday. However, as we dry out, things are going to get pretty hot. I'll get to that in just a second. All right, Wednesday afternoon, we wake up dry, but we could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling up from the south. Again, very similar to yesterday, but some of these might veer off to the west. So we have a lower chance of rain, only about a 30% chance of rain on Wednesday. Still, though, be prepared because some of these could pack a bit of a punch with some gusty winds, some downpours, and the potential for lightning and thunder. We'll dry out overnight Wednesday into Thursday. We'll stay dry for the morning commute on Thursday, but then when you're coming home from work, be prepared. You may run into a few patchy showers and thunderstorms. So really a rinse and repeat of the same type of weather pattern today, tomorrow, as well as on Thursday. After that, we dry out, but then check out the heat. Friday and Saturday, we're climbing into the mid-90s, 94 on Friday, 95 on Saturday. We're running above average, and wow, is it going to be hot. We are switching into weather impact alert mode at that time. We'll likely see some sort of heat alerts get issued, potentially a heat advisory, maybe an extreme heat warning. We'll continue to keep you updated as we get more information in from the National Weather Service. Now, it's not just us who are feeling the heat. A lot of the nation is currently blanketed in heat alerts. That's everything that you're seeing highlighted on your screen in the pinks and in the oranges. We're at the southwesternmost portion, but this does extend all the way up toward Maine. And that's because there is a massive heat dome which is setting over the eastern portion of the United States. This is a big area of hot, sinking air. And that's what's creating all of these excessive heat temperatures. Now, the core of that is off to the east. Right now, it's centered in the Virginia, Carolinas area, but it will scoot backwards. So something cool that's happening here. Usually weather goes from the west and moves off to the east. That's the general pattern of flow when it comes to the upper atmosphere, which is what we're looking at here. But this is so big, it's going to do what's called retrogressing. So it goes backwards through the flow because it is just so big. And as it comes backward, it's going to find a place right here in East Texas. We'll start to feel the impacts of that on Thursday, but really it's over the weekend when it's sitting directly on top of us that we're going to feel all of the impacts of that heat. And that's why we switch back into weather impact alert mode. The mid-90s are all the way, but it'll likely feel somewhere around 100, 105, potentially even warmer than that. So just be prepared as you're making your evening, or I should say your weekend plans. I'd recommend having a plan in place in case it is too hot to be outside there. All right, switching gears, I am taking you out to the Atlantic Ocean where we had our first named system form just an hour or so ago. That was around 10 a.m. We had Tropical Storm Andrea form. It is set to move off to the northeast away from the United States, so into the ocean. This is what's known as a fish storm, so it's not going to impact the land all that much. We may see some rough waters in some areas, but really we're not expecting any rip currents across the majority of the eastern portion of the United States as this is moving off. That big high pressure dome is blocking it from having any real impact on us here in East Texas. Again, it's moving off to the northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Winds are currently at 40 miles per hour inside of that storm. So it is just barely at tropical storm criteria. You need about 39 mile per hour wind gusts, or should say sustained winds for that. But we'll continue to keep an eye on it for you. Again, it is moving off to the northeast away from us, but we'll continue to keep an eye on it. Now, this is the first named storm of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. So it did take Andrea as a tropical storm. The next name on the list is going to be Barry. We'll continue to keep you updated once we get closer down. Now, we start to see a spike in hurricane activity later in the year. It's closer to September, October that we start to see more of these. But hey, we'll continue to keep you updated as we get more storms forming in the Atlantic. Here locally, though, no hurricanes are in the forecast. We are just tracking a 40% chance of rain, though, and plenty of heat. Now, it's going to be lots of heat. We're looking at the mid-90s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then it is out of the frying pan and into the fire as we hit the weekend. We're into the mid-90s, and 95 is on the way on Saturday. Thanks so much for joining us for this CBS 19 Plus live stream. We appreciate you being here. We will have more if you join us on our noon show that's happening at noon on CBS 19 Plus, as well as CBS 19 and the CW. Have a great day.